Okay, this is a presentation of the basically everything about my pilot study, and um, soon will be about what I did for my pilot study. So, the Stroop effect, as it says there, was first introduced and done by someone called John Riddle or Ridley or Ridley Stroop in 1935, and then later done by MacLeod in 1988. The Stroop effect experiment studies how someone cognitively process language or information. The Stroop effect also includes cognitive interference, which means that it is a process loss that occurs when the ideas generated by other participants interfere with the individual's own idea generation activities, which means that their own ideas have been changed or influenced by others.
What is the Stroop effect?
The whole experiment of the Stroop effect is basically you're given a word of a colour like red, but the font colour is like blue, and you're getting someone to um, interpret which one they see. So if technically it's basically someone wrote down blue as the answer, some put red, one's got more of an open mind than the other one. One think more liberal. So the aim of my pilot study was to see how different people interpret the same information at the same time. The hypothesis of my pilot study is that half of the group will interpret information or words of what it says, and the other half will interpret the text colour instead of the word. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the procedure for from a pilot study
Do this.
from a researcher's perspective is that when the participants first enter and sit down, is to talk them over the instructions from the instruction sheet and get them to do a test on the text/question sheet with you observing them. You have to observe them to see the delay of the response for each question. When they have finished, you need to get them to turn their sheets over to reduce any influence in the answers from the participants. When they have all finished the task, then you would have to debrief them on the studies that they just took part in.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Mostly, yes.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. The method that was used in the pilot study is that of a lab experiment, meaning that the study is done in a controlled environment and that variables are being controlled. The reason that I choose to use a lab experiment is it would make the results from the pilot study reliable, so the study it was done in an upstairs room to remove any distractions of people walking back and forth of the door. The strength of using a lab experiment is that it is easy to replicate and that the extraneous variables are controlled, making the results reliable. But the limitations of using the lab experiment is that it lacks Monday realism.
What's extraneous variables mean?
It's basically like background noise, light intensity.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what Monday realism is?
Where does that? Oh, at the end. No.
Basically, what will happen in everyday life. Because if basically if you do something in a lab, it's gonna lack it, but it's most likely not gonna happen.
Ah, okay, yeah.
The findings of the pilot study was that half of the group, when working individually, interpreted the information in each question as the word, and the other half interpreted the font color. These results could be influenced through, though, as they were all sitting next to each other, meaning that they could have looked at each other at work, and peer pressure would make them change their decision. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the graph right here, which my hand just covered.
Yeah.
And the findings of the pilot study shows that this can be done in a larger scale, and that individuals that interpret the colours have a more flexible and open way of thinking, and the people that interpreted the word have a more literal way of thinking. This links to my study as it's about how language is processed cognitively. Any more questions?
No.
Okay, and that's about it.
Okay.